Thank you so much for coming to my the site. I wanted to talk about like my recent experiences of adding the ADU prefabs like on our property, like in LA, like average cost of buying the homes, like single home particularly, is around 900,000 now in 2023. So for us, we thought about it. Maybe it's not feasible for us to do that. Rather, we're like we do already bought homes like 12 years ago, and we have like enough plenty of room that we could build on here on site. So this is my journey of how to figuring out all these ins and out of the numbers, to who to talk to and things like that. So first, like we were discussing, my husband and I, or like what kind of type of building that we can build. So there are many ways to go about it. There's some like a traditional stick build that you can ask, that they can customize any of your things. Or these days like a prefabs are pretty popular, so like we looked at like a few options. There's these sites like the Dualito, they have Circa Homes, they're great. Like they have like so many different options, different square footage, like one bed, two bed studios. So and then I've heard that these factory manufactured home, like a prefab, like modular homes, these are much more higher quality than the stick built, because they can also like shed wastage. Like here's like some like example, but like like these homes like that's built is like 50% faster than traditional construction, 200% on a return on investment, ROI, 90% of waste reductions, less carbon emissions created. So waste reduction is great too, and then we're sustainable altogether. So anyway, so I talked to like the sucker, like first like I met the Caleb at the Dualito, who is selling like these construct like the prefabs, and then like next I was introduced to Sarka Homes, which is a manufacturer of these prefab homes. And then like they came to our site, like our property, to look at all these different personal situations, like if your home is on up on the hills, or like any constraints when it comes to site works. And then these are just like estimate, but they would give us like all these different things, that like what is site work might cost, like finishing package might cost, like that type of thing. So that like that's how they're like kind of like a breaking down into things here. So you can kind of see there's other homework that I did was in LA, there's like a home share department, so that you can get like the permit to um, do like the Airbnb type of thing. They have Furnish Finder for the midterm rental. Zero is great too. This site you can like post it to, and you can kind of like look at like how much competitors are going in your particular like area, and then what's good, and then like all these things. I have so many notes in here. So and then you can also look at the loan options. I looked at like my current mortgage lenders loan option, and I also did mortgage, like the person that Rocket Mortgages, I remember. So these are things that it's like a quick glance of, like, let's say if you had 50,000 right now that you can freely use, and if you put in index fund for 10% growth per year for 25 years in next, and then that would come up to around roughly 602K. But if you build like a prefab, let's say it's cost 350, and then like a profit is maybe 60K, maybe 50K, 40K, and then like you can calculate like homeowners insurance or landlord insurance, property tax, and then minus those overhead costs, and you can estimate maybe 20 nights you can book them. These are just like estimate numbers, so we'll update you once when things are start going. But you can also pay back the loan with the interest, and then like how much you would make over 25 years. And then like let's say you don't make anything for the first 10 years, just to kind of break even. But if you were to invest 15 years of these like the cash flows into back into like the stock market. Let's say you bought like very safe, like I mean safe is relevant term, but like index fund that like SP 500, those type of things like affidabilities like index fund and things like that, and for 15 years, and it can become 1.7 million. So it's kind of like more than almost 3 times more than just putting that money into the index fund. So that kind of made me decide why people invest in a real estate with more risk. So I can also look at like zero to see what are the competitors are renting in my area per month, and I contacted a few different, like probably like 4 or 5 total, like different kind of like the all in a one shop people that who can do permit to estimate to design to engineer to all the way to finding a contractor for us and a site work. I just didn't want it to do all this legwork on my own because that would be a lot for me to be working as a full-time UX designer as in that day. So I liked that somebody else is managing those aspects. And I was like kind of looking around the pricing in our area, what kind of competitors are there, how much are they charging for like a cleaning fees and pet fees and stuff, and then like all those kind of type of things. And then like there are loan officer that gave me, he was actually really great actually. The team from like the branch manager for like the westcaplending.com, like yeah, he gave me all these things and then stuff like that. So and then we thought about like maybe what's the difference from cash out refi versus home equity loan, which is what we are gonna do. But cash out refi, if you already have a home right now and if you want to do take out your equity and combine those first mortgage to the second mortgage, which is the loan that you're going to take out for you to build ADU, you can actually blend it in a one. But if the blending rate doesn't make sense to you that much, like because we currently have really good rates for the first mortgage, it's almost like too good. It's like 1.8. So like the blending rate doesn't make sense to me, and we already have like very short range, like the waiting for us to finish our current mortgage is like 8 years left, so we didn't want to stretch that out into 20 years. But this is where it comes out. Your priority is to pay least amount of money per month, then it makes sense to go with cash out refi because your monthly payments will be a lot lower. But your priority is to save like most amount of interest in the course of the entire loan, then it makes sense to just keep it as a home equity loan in our case to go with. Because if let's say like if we just take out loan that 20 years flat, home equity loan, but if we pay down in 5 years instead of 20 years, then we'll save like 221,000 on interest. That's kind of crazy because we're trying to borrow 280,000, and then on the over course of 20 years we have to pay 220,000 extra on what we're borrowing. So those are the kind of things that you can think about. But I just wanted to kind of talk about these things in case maybe there are somebody else wanting to do this kind of project, then I can be help for that. So let me know if you have a question. But thank you so much for listening.